Love Yahweh. I am God Yahweh, Creator Yahweh. Elohim, 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 Elohim. Yes, it is the 11th hour this morning, August 10th, 2024. Hey, Yasum, Ism Schism. I am that I am. The first God, Yahweh Elohim. This message is for the World Wide Web Internet computer dealing with social media today. And we're helping this particular Saturday with religious confusion. This message is about the ego, E-G-O, the ego, which is spoken about with me, David Rockefeller Banneker, the Elohim of the one God Yahweh of these United States, with the Grand Discovery and Smithsonian Institution of Video Audio Recorders, with the banking system of 1938 there. I was about the cell phone I'm holding is a video camera and audio recorder, registered with Grand Discovery, and A Course in Miracles was one of my textbooks that I submitted with Grand Discovery in 1938. Me, David Rockefeller Banneker, created charity and philanthropy. The bank accounts essentially for the USA, the female nation. I am God, Yahweh, Love, Elohim, also the USG, the United States of God, Yahweh, Love, Elohim, and I am also of the United States of Elohim, Elohim, I am God, Yahweh. So, this message about the ego, which is the residual effect of failure of masculine mortal mammals or spirit ghost men that practiced sodomization in the past and received erosion from Elohim, called Elohim, essentially from Elohim. Where did that start from? Well, for the feminine angelic celestial beings, they did not participate directly with that, but they learned of it by vicariously or even through osmosis in English language called science. Very naturally, they use comparisons and competition. Two creations created by Elohim, Elohim. All right, to speak that word twice is greater than saying comparisons and competition. Elohim, Elohim. This is simply greater and it lasts infinitely longer, actually. So, the first person that they was trying to compare to was a son. When they tried to compare to anyone, they could have, what you going to compare a daughter? And you're going to compare a mother and compare a sister then? Why are you going to compare a son? All right, so then they was having competition. All right, that led to the creation of erosion from the creator of Rancor, R-A-N-C-O-R, Rancor. For we have associations with all alphabet letters that obey Elohim at all times. I am God Yahweh. Thank you. So erosion happened from Rancor, from the creator of Rancor, spelling his creation with comparisons and competition. So it ignored you with its creation. That Rancor is spelled with everything called creation, including the creation of comparing and the creation of competing. And Rancor is still spelled there, so it ignored them, and I am God Yahweh in his creation called Love Elohim. Already it was his direct command. Therefore, a competition and comparison was about a contention. They were discontent, I suppose, unsatisfied, which spells age, or dissatisfied, which spells age, from whatever they were doing in their past, and they wanted to compare. And when they had a comparison in their competition, another one was not competing with them at all. Who? Elohim was not. It has a creator, and therefore Elohim did not start with a creator. Therefore it created the creator named Love Elohim, Elohim. Therefore that one they never knew. Then they heard of me. I am God Yahweh. Yes, Yahweh. Therefore, the erosion that happened through their vicarious jousting of wanting to compete and have a competition and a comparison left them as if they were the judge. You're not the judge of what Elohim was creating with Elohim, Elohim. Therefore, whatever was the conclusion of their comparison and competition was only the beginning for the creator of Rancor that also created erosion. I am Eros God, El Yahweh. Love is my name already. We had to spell my name differently for the creator named Love Elohim Elohim. Therefore, their competition, which was a contention, they was trying to become content from being discontent, unsatisfied, or dissatisfied from sodomizing each other in their past. And their competition and their comparison led to the erosion from vicarious nature of accusing themselves of being the judge of what Elohim already created. What were you comparing? Something that Elohim creates with Elohim. All right, well, we gave you Elohim, Elohim then. And your comparison is meaningless to Elohim and Elohim. even by competition. So you're left with a contention, which is actually a contest, accepted intellectual property created by me, the one God Yahweh. And when I create intellectual property, you could be content with every table of contents in my banking system with myself, David Rockefeller Banneker, except with Langston Hughes, who has that letter S for you and that letter G, which led to the ego, that you had arrogance. You had arrogance somewhere trying to steal, so you have a table of contents that have contention with every book in the English language, essentially. Therefore, you could never be content, so you would definitely be unsatisfied. Spelling age for you is dissatisfied and had discontent. And distance is comparing yourself to something that exists, that Elohim creates Lohim Elohim already. And I am Yahweh Elohim. My name is God. And you started with the creator name Love Elohim. Love is your Elohim, not me, Yahweh. I am God, Yahweh Elohim already. Therefore, the contention that was left was because you used inspiration from comparison and competition. Inspiration is Lohim Elohim, with the creator name Love. I am God, Yahweh already. I exist. And with your inspiration that you did not use gratitude properly, that's an aspect and attribute of Elohim. Now you offer the letter B in there, you're going to have a problem now. You need balance. But you didn't have the 12th alphabet letter. So the alphabet letters is where the ego died from, basically from the failures of the contention. And the contention is left with myself, Jesse Owens. I ran for all my women. It's called the Olympics. With myself, JLK, Fitzgerald Kennedy already. I ran for all of mine already in the Olympics. So you had erosion from your contention, from the ego that was left from your failure, that when you try to have a comparison, no, you use inspiration. You needed gratitude for your arrogance. Now you need humility, and that's where your 12th alphabet letter for America the 12th was from. Humility. That's my name, Yahweh. I am humble with humility, YHWH. I am God, Yahweh, Love, Elohim. That's my name already. Then all of a sudden you was learning a lesson. And the lesson that you was learning is you first had a comparison. You was trying to compare with a son, and you tried to compare with a daughter then. And then you had a reason, and that's all the prefix in the English language, R-E, that you tried to re-see a son already. You couldn't re-see that son while it commands you love Elohim. And you could not do it. You had a question to ask you, what is love Elohim? If your son ever asked you, what is love Elohim, your answer would be wrong. It's my name, God Yahweh. Your answer would be wrong. So you went from a comparison to a reason. You couldn't re-see your son if it ever asked you that question. Then you had a lesson because you tried to make your son less than you, but you was less than your son. You thought you was belittling yours, right? And it was greater than you, so you tried to make your son less than you. Died for Lohim Elohim. It's not love at all for you. So then your comparison from your lessons of your reason just left you basically with a person. So I'm the person, God Yahweh, that cheated myself, Elohim, from my own Bible. Can a person cheat G-O-D? Yeah, called Grand Discovery. I did it already, David Rockefeller Banneker, and created bank accounts for the USA. Therefore, for the feminine angelic celestial beings, this message is about humility. The ego lacks humility. You can ask Elohim, and it will create humility for you. This lesson is about receiving inspiration. Elohim creates inspiration. You can ask Elohim for inspiration.